We want you to know, maybe put it in the comments, sir. Yeah, we're sorry we muted the lines right before you were speaking. So we're glad you're on, though, this morning. Welcome, everybody. Happy Wednesday, hump day. That's right. I say this all the time. If you're new, if you'll wave your hands, it'll make you smile in the morning, and this is all about like getting us started on the right track every day, right? Oh my goodness. The president of our company's calling. All right. Well, I'll call back. So, Coach's Corner is more important. All right. Don't tell her. All right. So, good to see everybody this morning. Hope you're having a great day. So, the word for today is innovation. Innovation. So, can you give me just a second? Well, okay. Innovation. The act of introducing something new. Now, that was profound, right, Randy? Randy's on his way into the office. Like, how many of you like have ever gotten involved with maybe an exercise program? Do y'all remember the day, maybe I'm dating myself, where it was like it was all this fast, what was it called? Tybo. You remember the Tybo back in the day? Like it still might be going on, but like all the training, right? Tybo training and the people kicking and doing all this stuff. And it was an innovation at that moment in time. Like it was a way to work out. It was a change, right? And you have innovations. You have the keto, and you got this, and you got that. You got people constantly introducing something new. But I got a question for you this morning for yourself. And this is where, when I looked at the word innovation, I kept coming back to this. Am I a person that gets in a habit and I'm closed off to new things? Or am I a person that is open to new things to see if that is an area that I'm interested in? Okay. And I challenge you not only to be a person that is open to seeing if you like something. If somebody says, "Hey, there's a new restaurant in town," and oh my goodness, they have this blaze going in front of you, and it's all this experience, and it's like, go try it out. You might not ever go back, but it might be the most amazing innovation to fine dining you've ever witnessed in your life. But if you're closed off and you're like, no, I don't want to do that. I bet I won't like the food and it'll be too expensive and blah, 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 blah. And it's like you might have just took an experience out of your life because you weren't willing to step into the innovation. Okay. And I see people, like I work with a lot of people around the world. And a lot of times, and I look at myself, I'm closed off to some things and I'm open to others. So innovation, the act of introducing something new, here's where I went this morning. Innovation is the ability to see change as an opportunity, not a threat. Like I'll never forget in our profession when we made the shift last summer to do what we're doing today with the system and the system of growth. It was a change I'd never done. And there was some negative vibes due to the unwillingness to change, the unwillingness to go, you know what, let's see if this is something that could better us, that could make us better, that we could grow bigger, that we could make more money with in this sales platform. And for that, it was an absolute amazing thing. But I'll tell you this, I've had other things where I've dove off in it and I've been like, whoa, bad move, bad, go left, not right, go left. It's okay. It's okay. That's life. Like if I'm willing to not only me innovate, but then accept innovations, man, my life is super powerful. The power of innovation is the road to success. Like It's the cornerstone of success, especially in this fast-paced world. Like, things are going to change. And so if I'm one of those, I'm going to anchor my heels in the sand, and I got to see 48,000 people have success with it before I do it, I'm going to miss a lot of innovation, a lot of opportunity to get in and be that first. So last I'm going to share is, here's something. If I walk around with that openness to change, innovate, number one, it gives you a competitive advantage. You're going to look around and you're going to go, man, I see people that still are resistant and they're missing it. How many of you could relate to that? You're like, man, I'm glad I did because I didn't miss it. But you look around and you're like, so it gives you a competitive advantage. It teaches us to adapt. Like, if I'm innovative, or if I'm willing to jump into a new thing, it really teaches Brent Palmer to become adaptive, like to adapt to change. It also can help me streamline and create more efficiency in my life. Andrea says this to me all the time. Brent, use auto pay. You're in 1985. Get out of it. You're still going to make your payments in town. I like meeting the people. She's like, no, you're just not willing to get on auto draft where it's convenient. So my point being is it does create a streamline of efficiency. And it also it inspires creativity. Like, that's what it inspires. Like, I've watched Alan White for years on his own company. He gets on here every morning. And I watch in his company, I watch him do countertops now that they didn't do 10 years ago. I watch them stain floors. They didn't do that 5, 8 years ago. So guess what they're doing? They're innovating. They're changing. They're doing things that customers want and is satisfying to the customer. And guess what they had to do it? Learn new skills. Learn new skills. Same way in our profession right now, in any profession. So, great word for this morning. I'll shut up. I'll let you shut up. Such a harsh word. All right, I'll turn it to
Goodness gracious. Great lesson, Coach. I appreciate it. And I want to know if your feelings were as hurt as bad as when Ashley Paulson commented. She said, hey, that's the year I was born, when you were talking about. So anyway,
without that. We
yeah,
could have done without that this morning.
yeah, like that was a little harsh this morning, Ashley. But anyway.
1985. How many of you can remember I'm sorry, Andrea.
Go.
You just made me think about it. How many of you can remember the Michael Jackson parachute pants with the zippers on them? Yes. I mean, listen, we didn't have a lot of money growing up, so I didn't have all of those, but I did. My brother did get the parachute pants one time, and I found a way to get my little fat self in them because I was a little chunky. And he was skinny. But I found a way to get in them so I could wear and feel those parachute pants. And they weren't very comfortable. So, okay, we'll turn it back to you.
Oh, okay. All right. That created quite the visual. So, guys, we also had a little lesson on how to create a visual as we're sharing things with others. So, I appreciate that, Coach. So the quote, the quote that I found was, innovation is not born from the dream. Innovation is born from the struggle. And Simon Sinek said that. And when you're talking about the concrete countertops and the stains and the things like that, like, my guess, and I don't know this for certain, but my guess that those innovations happened because maybe what we were used to doing slowed down and we wanted to gather more customers, right? And I think there's so many times in our life that when we're kind of in the mud, that's when we get brave enough to innovate. That's when we get brave enough to say, okay, I got to think outside the box. I've got to do something a little bit more. But what I looked into is how can we be more innovative in our daily life, like in everything that we do. So we don't have to wait to the crisis to do the pivot. How can we just start moving and creating and growing more right now? So first of all, and I'll be quick because we're almost done. Cultivate curiosity. So ask questions, seek to understand, just kind of see what's going on, explore some new topics, find a new hobby, like do some different experiences that spark that curiosity, because that might spark a little innovation as well. Next, practice thinking outside the box. Some of us are very, had this conversation this morning, perhaps with my mentor, that I can be a little bit rigid in my thinking. I know you guys can't see that in me at all, but sometimes it'd be great to practice thinking outside the box and brainstorm multiple solutions to one problem that maybe you already think you have the solution for, but say, okay, if I didn't do this, what are all the other things that I can do around it? And that's going to help us be more innovative. Next is to embrace the constraints. So sometimes we can have a roadblock. We can have something that we're going to have to deviate around. So if we can embrace that constraint as a creative opportunity, rather than a limitation, that's going to help us see our way around it. Next, we can experiment. So just try something new, like kind of like Coach said, he will pick something up, he'll try it. If it works, he keeps running. If it doesn't work, well, then he goes back. And then lastly, cross-pollinate. Be receptive to feedback from others. You know, I kind of think about our industry here that not everybody's in, I get it. So that's great. But think about your job where maybe you're in a position or you do something where you do it one way. But if you could step out of that and step into somebody else that does that position, or somebody else that maybe is on a different team, and see what they're doing, because you can cross-pollinate, you can hear their ideas and see what they're doing, and maybe you can grab something that can help you grow your business more, grow and be more innovative. So I'll leave it there. All I can picture is these parachute pants that were supposed to be baggy, but then they were
You know what
filled.
I love, I'm glad we talked about this morning. I challenge everybody on here today, if you get a second today, 1985, all musicians came together. Do you remember the song? We are the world. We are the future.
We are the children.
Take the time today. Take the time today to go listen to that song. We Are the World, 1985, Lionel Richie. I remember. I mean, I can sing it today. So, all right, I won't do that.
Should we all listen, Coach? You want to sing it real quick?
No, we're not going to karaoke today, but we will. You know, we could have a karaoke day on Coach's Corner.
Coach's Corner karaoke. I think we should do it. I think we should do it.
All right, guys. Love you. Have a great Wednesday. See you back tomorrow.
Love you all.
Thank you, Coach.
Great job, Brent. Great job, Amy.